I am Jill DeWitt with my partner Stephen Jack Vitala. We are Land Academy. Welcome. Glad you are here with us. We're still doing the first few minutes open to the public because you know what? The world needs to know what's going on. Well, not that the world doesn't know what's going on. How about this? You like-minded land investors need to know what's going on in our world so you know how to adjust in your world. How's that? Is that better?
Oh, that's good. Anyways, good.
Thanks a lot.
We just got off the phone with what we who refer to internally as our advanced members. It's really career path alumni. And we looked at 3 deals that we do it one time a month, first Thursday of every month. We looked at one deal that's probably going to make more than $1 million and a couple more that are $100,000 profit deals. And all credit due to the people in that group. They're great. But the fact is this, and this applies to everybody on this call, public or not, we are headed into a situation from an economy standpoint where we're going to see some absolutely amazing deal. Joseph Schumer just posted one now, and I can tell you right now, we're going to absolutely agree that it's an amazing deal. So, and we'll look at it after the public portion closes, but this is a great time to be doing this. Jill and I went through that last recession in around 2009 together, and we just absolutely smashed it. And I can feel it in my bones.
I wish I would have bought more back then.
Feel it in my bones that it's happening again.
Every day that the inventory goes up, my offer prices go down.
I'm getting personal notes now for the first time from large residential real estate developers because I'm on those lists for some reason, where they're offering 2% mortgages on buying a new house right now, seller financing.
It's so good.
In a world where mortgage rates are 7%. So it's very positive. There's massive money. I hope this group understands. You could make enough money in the next 36 months to be done forever financially. If you really buy into this. And I'll talk about that in a second in the presentation.
It's wonderful. Thank you. Take it away. But can we go back to the formatting? Just a reminder.
Says take it away, but then no.
Well, yeah, but don't go too fast.
Please take the mouse. I'm gonna get to the good stuff.
Well, just okay. So that's us, blah, blah, blah. That's how we use it. This is for internally. What you're seeing a little bit here, public, is some of the screen sharing that goes on within our group, in our Land Academy community, because we're going to be open to you for a little bit, and then we're going to close her up and talk about real deals. But this is how we use the chat and the Q&A in case we have any new members here with us today. This is a formatting. Remember, these are the 8 A's when we do our due diligence on deals. I just want to do a little reminder to new members, take a quick screenshot of this. And you'll notice other people in a minute here, Jack will start to turn on the Q&A so you can see the deals that are coming in for us to review. But this is the format that we like to see, because these are the A's that you should run through to make sure, whether or not it's a good deal.
This is the template that we would like you to stick to when you present a deal. Not because we're being, weirdo OCD about it, just because it's easier for us and faster and more informative, hopefully for you. So where we review deals in the same format over and over and over again, it's just easier to mentally process it.
Exactly. All right. So here is our question of the week. Hi, Jack and Jill, longtime listener, first time submitter. Sounds like
I can tell their age.
Oh, cute. Yeah.
Longtime caller.
This is from Leslie M. I was hoping I could bring a little light to everyone's day and find out what your funniest experience land investing has been. Funniest hate mail, funniest deal fail, funniest seller. Thank you.
I can go first. This will stick. You've heard me say this before, not in a lot of years.
But think about it. Go ahead.
I got a response to a mailer a very long time ago. I think it was probably before Jill and I joined forces. That was just a very nice, simple, handwritten note sent back in the mail that said, "Who raised you?" Question mark.
That was it.
Still, forget about, oh God, the profanity and stuff. We all get it.
Oh, yeah.
Just the pure level of hate. But for some reason, that response just stuck with me.
That's good. You know what I think? I think one of my funniest was a LA County mailer. This was 5 or 8 years ago, and Jack sent out 18,000 units to LA County, and I'm taking the first wave of phone calls, and this New York person, this guy from New York, reamed me like you would not believe. Like he
I'm good at it.
chewed
Glad I
me
didn't know
out.
about
It
that.
was and I'm like, all right, and then hung up, calls over. Sure enough, he's calling me right back. And I'm like, oh no, but I got to answer it now. I got to figure out, like, why is it calling? Why is he calling me back? Did he have a few choice words he forgot to say? So I answered it and he apologized. That was the whole point. He's like, you know what? I hung up and realized this is your business and you didn't deserve that. And he took it all back. It was so funny. There was no deal. We didn't get a deal there, but he felt bad about chewing me out and called me back to apologize. Well,
I got a call from a guy. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it's a good question.
I like it.
I got a call from a guy a bunch of years ago. Again, this was the transaction that sparked this call took place before Jill and I joined forces, but it was after we were on our way together. And he called me and said, I just want to thank you. This is like when skip tracing just started to be a thing. We were I'll remember it forever. I don't know why. We were at that art show up there during bear tax. Do you know about this?
Mm-mm.
So I usually don't ever pick up my phone, but for some reason I did with this. And the guy said, I just want to thank you. And I'm like, oh, all right, who is this? What's going on? He said, about 4 years ago, I bought 80 acres in Riverside County from you.
I do remember this.
And he said, I paid like $56,000 or something like that. I can't remember any of these deals. And I know what we paid for properties back then. So I'm sure it's a property that we paid probably $8,000 or $10,000 for. So I am sure we were jumping up and down about selling
50.
it. Yeah, 50 or 60 grand.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we just closed a deal at $4 million. And these guys that I sold it to are going to put in a regional airport, a private airport. I don't know if it was going to be a
I
development.
remember you telling me, yeah.
And then he says, do you have any more land?
What else?
That's the funny part. Like,
Yeah. Thought I could pick
if
up
I
another
if
50.
I did or do, and I think I might look a little further into whether or not I'm going to sell it. But
Mhm.
you know what? I hung up the phone happy because look, I made whatever 40, 50,000 bucks on it. I bet we owned it for 2 weeks. So it's like we teach in the programs.
Mhm.
We wholesale property. We don't. We wholesale a Costco type wholesale property. I'm not here to maximize profit. And so I'm happy for that guy. I didn't spend 1 second really worrying or thinking about, oh, geez, I should have kept it.
Yeah.
We made a lot more money than that on the entire that series of years with that company, way more than his 3 million.
I remember that happening often. It was almost like we would have to tell ourselves, don't go back and look it up because, remember I was telling some people the other day that a lot of in the early years, I was wholesaling as in the way I always think of it as wholesaling, not the way it got goofed up into now, but I was selling to other investors. So we would buy directly from the seller. We would mark it up, usually double. I would sell it to other people in our community. This is way before Land Academy. And then they would go sell it on terms or whatever, make money. And so, yeah,
Same thing.
yeah. And I would go back. So I was just wholesale pricing it, selling it to investors. So, and the whole thing was, I had to train myself, don't go look, because I could have done that, but we chose not to. We were always just, hey, double our money, get out. If they and sometimes they made good money. I'm like, no wonder I have a buyer for life over here. And they're like this guy, they'd come back and that was my platinum buyers list. I would send out an email and they would grab these properties and it worked out great. So I don't regret it at all.
No.
And I felt really, really good about it. So thanks. So we have a member announcement. We have a new advanced training available. It came out last week. We have some recording some of my seller phone calls. This is for Land Academy members. You can log on to your dashboard. I think it's under the tools section. Oh, now look, find it in the advanced training section on your member portal.
We learn of all the things that are going on in our companies on these slides.
Exactly. This is
the same moment that you do.
Yeah.
It's not obvious.
This is awesome. So yeah. there's some good phone calls on there. And as I get new ones, and some pertinent more, we'll add more. So I love it. Next week, of course, we have our regular podcast Monday through Friday. We can hear us on the Land Academy show. And then next Wednesday, oh yay, next Wednesday. And I know we have some new, here we go again. I got a new wave of strong female investors. I'm sure your goal is my goal. Let's retire our husbands. That's our motto, and the guys love it. So, but we're going to get together next week, Wednesday, March 12th, at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I will see you there. Oh, it's so funny coming in. Oh,
I retire it as a verb. I can just hear a bunch of female investors and where Jill's the ringleader saying, I'm going to retire my husband, and somebody else saying, that's not what I'm going to do to my husband.
Yeah, I'm going to retire and put him to work.
No, he's just going to work.
All right. Well, you can afford to retire your husband, whether you choose to do it or not do it. There you go. So, and then our weekly member call, of course, is next Thursday, every Thursday this time.
Let's look at recent real estate data. This is March 1st, a few days ago.
Cool. Really pertinent.
As every week we look at this and we look for trending for serious variances. Just like many, many weeks, our trend is very consistent. I don't see any real variances. Median listing prices are flat week to week and year over year. Very, very flat. Active listings are about the same. What I found incredibly interesting this week is they, for a lot of reasons, put metro areas that are heavy with federal employees.
Really?
I'll leave that for you to figure out why.
They decided to put this stat in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is 3-1. This is, 5 days ago. There's 50% more properties for sale than there were last year in the Washington Arlington MSA.
Year over year, 3-1. Wow.
There's 65% more properties for sale in San Diego than there was a year ago. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
My offer just got cut in half because there's so much out there.
Amount of real estate on the market, aging and sitting there. And I can tell you, with that much property on the market, there's huge competition and a lot of options for buyers. They can't sell it. So I can statistically have been watching this in certain parts of the country. The listings are expiring. They can't sell it. They're getting our letters, personal experience, and they're saying, okay, let's talk.
I have to tell you, I get I'm sure you do too, different things that we're looking for around the country. Then you get the Zillow updates, you get the emails when properties do things. I just had a property pop up in an email, $750,000 price cut. That's 14% price cut. It was listed at 5.5. Now it's 4 point whatever. So I'm like, these guys they're feeling it. This is a really small mountain community that I'm talking about too. 14%, that's big. When we're talking 5 million. And guess what? I bet that is going to be down to 3 before we know it.
This is an active listing count for a lot of years. This is a 1-year cycle, starting with January, ending with December. As most of you know, Jill certainly knows, the high side buy cycle for real estate is in the summertime. It's when the kids are out of school, families can make choices that they can control about buying one house, going into another school system, and all of that. Right now, we're at the bottom of the market in March here. This is the least amount of activity and the best time to buy as an investor or anybody else. See the velocity here? This is 25. See the curve of the amount of properties that are actively being listed? Show me a year where there's an upward trend and there isn't, all the way back to 17. This is recently. We've got 2025, 24 is brown. These are all post-COVID numbers, all of them. So post-COVID, there just wasn't a lot of inventory to even buy if you wanted to. It drove prices up. This is just active listings. This is pre-COVID. Everybody says that this number has to get up to these pre-COVID numbers before the horror starts. I don't necessarily agree with that. We have a lot of other stuff going on, and COVID threw a wrench into the regular cycle. Interest rates are super high. They were not high here at all. Really, even here, they weren't.
Yeah.
It all adds up to tons of property on the market, more property coming up on the market. We haven't even really tapped into the variable rate mortgages that are going to kick in and double everybody's mortgage overnight. So get some mail out. The topic today with the advanced group was go back and buy the property that you think you're going to buy for 100 grand for $5,000. Yeah. A certain percentage of people are going to say yes.
I coached some the other day and I said, look, when you hit the green light button to send the mail out, you should be going, ooh, this is going to be a good one. You should be a little bit afraid of, these offers are pretty low. That's what you want.
Which leads me to this final point.
I love this.
There are 4 sites. If you retain one thing from anything that Jill and I say, not just today, but ever, please retain this. There are 4 cycles in real estate. 4. Recovery. Well, how can it start with recovery? How could be that the first cycle? Because at the first cycle is really recession. You recover from the recession, you expand. There's a lot of home builders. You can watch new home builders, large ones, expand like crazy during this situation. There's a hyper supply, which is what we're in right now. There's too much property on the market. And then there's recession, which we're going into. These 4 cycles, I wish somebody would have told me this when I was 24 years old. I wish somebody would have told me this in 2009. I just in my soul didn't really believe it. Believe me, I believe it now. And I want you to.
It only took 4 of these.
These 4 cycles have been happening since the GI Bill, since the 40s in this country, probably before that. That's when lending really kicked in for houses. It is a fact they will continue to happen in this country until lending stops, which will in our lifetime certainly won't happen. The variable is the length of these, how long it takes for, how many months or in some cases a year. That we've had years of expansion because of COVID. But they all happen. Every recession happens, and every time there's a recession, recovery happens, expansion and supply. We are set up, not unintentionally, to make money in every single one of these cycles. But geez, during a hyper supply cycle and then a recession, you can clean up and get set up to start selling property back here. So please buy into this. There's 4 cycles. They're going to go into a recession. I don't know how long it's going to last, probably not very long, and we will recover from it. Make sure you have a ton of mail in front of a ton of buyers when this happens. Whatever that means to you, houses, land, I don't care. Whatever markets make sense to you.
Are we going to do mortgage rates or no?
We could, yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I just want to double check. Where are we today? Look at that.
Pretty flat. So this is January 13th. Oh, it's not so bad.
I'm kind of like
6.75. This is March 5th.
Okay.
A little bit of an uptick there. 6.75. That's not insignificant.
Yeah, below 7 makes, when it starts with a 6, I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Look, you all can look this up and you should go back as far as time will go on this. And when you really get a handle on it, look what it was back then. 6s is nothing. 17, 18 sucks. And that's what you were stuck with back then. Look how high this was.
1982.
This whole period.
Yeah.
1980, it was sub 10% from let's talk from 1979 to, hold on to your hat, everyone. 1979 to 1986. That's that's 7 years of over 10%. So 6% is good.
It's not as good as 3%.
True.
We're headed back down here.
I hope so.
This is the way we're going
This
to
Part of the whole.
get out of this. And this is a huge recession at this time. Joe was busy listening to Depeche Mode.
I was not paying attention to interest rates at all.
I actually was. That's how we end up together.
That's true. Nor was I paying attention to my credit card charge rate, and I should have been.
I bet it was 35%.
Oh my God.
35% to get your nails done.
Oh my God. Do you know, I have to tell you, I have a little side note. This is good. I talked to a guy today at American Express that was so out of touch with reality. I pay our bill off every single month. I do all kinds of stuff with our business, right? And he actually said to me, you know, we can extend the payments for you. Do you know there's a payment? You have an extended whatever. I'm like, have you looked at my account? Like, what are you talking about? It was really funny. I'm like, once upon a time, though, I used that a lot.
Okay.
Ready? Are we closing her up now?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to close her up now.
Look at these amazing deals.
Thank you for joining us, public. We're going to close it up to our members now and open up your deals and see what you have for us. And what
Excited for
questions.
this deal.
Yeah. And don't forget too, you can, it's not just deals, any question you want. Hey, I'm struggling with this point in the program. Jill, how do I handle this seller? They told me this and I didn't have a response for it. Anything like that, pop it in the Q&A and we're happy to answer that for you.